So,
Ratri, this is something that is quite close to my heart because this has drawn so many attention, and also I have some relatives and also friends who are dealing with the same situation. But if we may ask, how did you feel? What was actually the first thing pop up in your mind when the doctor diagnosed you with HIV/AIDS? When was this?
it was 15th of May 2006 for me.
What was the first thing pop up in your mind?
Well, because I was already aware about the risk that I had, my husband at that time was injecting drug user. So I already knew that I was at high risk. So I was not too surprised actually, but still there was a little bit of like anxiety that I felt, but I had a very good counselor at that time who actually explained everything in a very simple way and in very clear, and it actually helped me a lot with understanding the situation that I was going through that time.
Right. So you were diagnosed back in 2006.
Yes.
Can you take us back to 2006? How was your lifestyle back then?
My lifestyle is actually, it was very regular, very normal.
Very normal housewife.
Yeah. It's I have a career. I had a career, and then I was married to a guy who happened to be. Previously, he injected drugs, and that was a very high-risk activity.
Yeah.
So I was a very normal housewife, very, you know, just like a common housewife. So it was actually very far-fetched.
Yes.
For me, and especially when I asked my husband before we got married that have you tested yourself, and he said that yes, I did, and it was negative. So I don't know, I mean, like I didn't think that he would lie at that time, so it was just out of naivety that I trusted him completely.
So sort of anticipating and not.
Yes.
So in between. So how did your family respond to this?
My family has been very supportive, and no family members of mine had actually stigmatizing me or discriminating me, and everyone was embracing me, and whoever did not have good or comprehensive knowledge on HIV and AIDS, they would ask me actually, like, so how can we support you, you know, like, what do you need, you know, things like that. So I'm actually very grateful.
Oh, that's very beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's beautiful. But those are the people in your family.
Yeah.
But if I may ask, or we may ask, how about the people that you didn't really know? Like acquaintances, and they just found out. How did they react to that? Were you bullied?
As far as my experience from 2006 until today, none of my friends actually ever discriminated me because of my HIV status. I know, I mean, like, probably some people actually talk behind my backs, but I chose not to focus on those ones. Yeah, so
like that selective hearing process.
Exactly, haters gonna be haters.
Haters gonna hate, yes.
That's right.
I love this. So let's take you back to the time when you were about to getting diagnosed. Some people might not know about what are actually the symptoms. What did you feel back then that drawn you into testing yourself for HIV and AIDS?
Actually, HIV an asymptomatic condition, which means that the symptoms is very minimum, so you almost cannot feel it. And if you do feel it, it's nothing different to any other infection. So a little bit like, you know, temperature rising, or
fever.
Yeah, like having a feverish feeling, and then a little bit feeling tired. So you don't really know whether it is HIV or not unless you get yourself tested. So back then, I was already divorced with my husband for a different reason. And then he fell sick one day, and then the doctor was getting suspicious with his condition, and then he got tested. The result came back
Positive.
positive. So the doctor asked the family that is he married? Does he have any children? You know, where is his wife? And then things like that. And then the family contacted me, and then actually requested me to get tested together with my daughter. So both of us got tested, and my result came back positive. My daughter was negative.
Okay.
So that was how I know that I had to go for my testing that time, because he fell sick.
Yeah.
All right. Now, from 2006 until now, can you tell us what kind of treatments or medicines? I know I've had families who are HIV positive too, so I know he always gets his medicine.
Yeah.
But what can you tell us about the treatments?
So back then in 2006, it was not as accessible as today. So today, if you get tested and the result is positive, you get on treatment right away.
Yeah.
Like the next day or the same day.
Okay.
So in 2006, because ARV, the antiretroviral medicine, is not that widely available, we had to wait until our immunity system dropped below 200. So the what we call CD4, the counts, the T cell count below 200, then you get on treatment. So I was actually started my first treatment in 2012.
Oh wow, 6 years after. Only 6 years.
6 years without medication.
So you were mentioning about the T level, T cell level below 200. What is actually the normal or ideal numbers for T cell level?
750 to 1,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the WHO actually raised the standard to 350 a couple of years later. But still, I mean, like people were scared to get on this treatment because there was like a lot of, you know, side effects and long-term side effects. So they started to stall, like get some boosters, you know, like with supplements and things like that. But then it was then, this is now, and now the medication is already widely available, and then they are actually getting better. So the side effect is actually getting less and less every day.
So you got, from the 2012, you got all the medications that you needed. Now, you were also mentioning about your daughter, and her test came back negative. What about those young people living with HIV/AIDS? They have to grapple with the disease until they grow up. And also, what are your thoughts about this? Because let's say these days people can get ARV and stuff like that. What are actually your thought and insight on this when the young people got it?
The young people, if it's like maybe the millennials, I think they already have the, you know, the way to actually cope. And
the better understanding.
Yeah, better understanding. But the one that is very challenging is children. When children gets HIV from their parents, it is always the challenge for the parents to tell them about the situation. And then the accessibility and availability of the pediatric ARV is also still, it is available, but it's not
widely.
Yes, and it's not as many as we wanted it to be. So
to be available.
Yes, and then
so it's different, yeah, from the adults type of ARV to pediatric.
Yes, it's totally different. The formulation is different, and then it comes in the form of a solution. So it's like cough syrup.
I see.
Tastes better for children, and then also how to educate the children about their condition, how to have acceptance of their, and then because I had some friends with a child who is born with HIV, he had to take the medication every day, like no excuses, right? And then he, at some point, he started to get bored, and then and he was asking, why do I have to take this
Right.
medicine every day? My friend, they don't
Right.
have to do it, you know, like, so that kind of things are still the challenges actually.
So I saw my friends taking medication on a very specific time.
Yes.
Can you explain about that?
Yes. So we have two types at the moment. The one that you take once a day, or the one that you take twice a day. So the one that the once a day, it's the medicine is actually it works for 24 hours, but then it has to be taken at the exact time every day, because you cannot let the effect wear off before the virus came back to life.
It's very strict.
Very
Yes.
strict.
So it's actually the most challenging things for people living with HIV, that you have to have that high discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
Yeah.
Right. Now, before we talk about how Indonesian children have been diagnosed lately, like pretty much a bunch of them, but can we talk about your foundation? What is your foundation, and what do you do, and what are some of the activities that you do?
Yes, so I actually a member of IP, Ikatan Perempuan Positif Indonesia, Indonesia Positive Women's Network. And our network has been around for 12 or 14 years already. And then we actually collectively try to embrace both women living with HIV and women affected by HIV. Affected by HIV means that if you have a spouse or a family member, or you know, like your closest ones are HIV positive, then you can become part of our network, because
they need
we can
support
share.
too.
Exactly. And then also, as the extension of women, it's usually children. So we do a lot of nutritional program, nutritional support program, and then support group. We actually provide safe haven for women to share, and you know, to do business, cross learning, whatever we need to do together.
So to empower.
Yes, and then also we advocate for access to treatment, and then you know, things that is actually related to services.
Now you were mentioning about children living with HIV/AIDS. Now, we have some numbers here. According to Indonesian Pediatric Society, some 1,118 children were diagnosed with HIV/AIDS across Indonesia, and we still see some discriminations happening across the nation. What message would you like to convey to Indonesians as we mark the World AIDS Day today?
Oh, this is a recurring situation.
Yes.
I mean, like our big homework. So I would like to appeal to everyone in Indonesia. These children, they're innocent. So we have to support them, because we know that with a great support, with correct medication and treatment, they will live a long time. So please do not discriminate. Please do not stigmatize these children. And then we just have to get together and support them.
Okay, so before we close this segment, I would love to know what is your hope when it comes to HIV/AIDS, let's say, mitigation, preventions in Indonesia, as a person from a foundation dealing with HIV/AIDS.
Yeah, I would actually like to see that HIV become something more normal. Like people will accept it, like just like when people have diabetes or you know, like tuberculosis or something like that, and how we can educate all generations to understand how to protect themselves, because this still is the big homework for everyone. So my hope hasn't changed since a long time ago, that there is no more discrimination and no more stigma for people living with HIV.
All right, so it is very eye-opening.
Yes.
And also, in addition to what Ratri just said, I want to appeal to all of Indonesians, or maybe if not, people in Southeast Asia, also the world, that HIV/AIDS is, actually, I might say manageable.
Yeah,
manageable. So it has nothing to do with you know, alienating people with HIV/AIDS, because they can still live the same days as we live, like people without HIV and AIDS. Ratri, thank you so much for being here.
So
My pleasure.
And please send our regards to the people in your foundation.
I will do.
All right.